Good, happy Friday morning and happy TGIF, everyone. It's time to rise and shine and get this Friday off to a good start. It is Friday, July 23rd, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Friday morning edition of The Morning Show with Riley King, where we have a little bit of everything for you in this program. It's time to rise and shine, grab that good cup of coffee, sit back, relax, and enjoy this Friday edition of The Morning Show with Riley King. Let's get started right now. First up, prosecutors reach landmark $26 billion opioid settlement with drug companies. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Shopping malls can be a big trigger for young homeowners turning into their parents.
And let's bring in Dr. Akil Anand from Cleveland Clinic's Drug and Recovery Center and ABC News correspondent Aaron Kaczynski for a little bit more on this. Thank you both for being here. Dr. Anand, we heard there in Devin's piece that more Americans have died of drug overdoses nationwide during COVID versus any other year since the opioid started. So why was this number even greater than experts expected? What do you think's causing this now?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely expected an increase. We had a lot of indicators. Historically, with any type of disaster trauma, we have seen an increase in substance use. The spike increase that we've seen this time, however, 30% increase since last year, it's the highest increase we've ever seen. I don't think none of us expected this high of an increase. We're suspecting it's because of the depression, anxiety, the PTSD, the longevity of COVID-19, and the emergence of fentanyl, the synthetic opioid that's really infiltrated the entire market of illegal drugs.
So, Aaron, yesterday, the big three drug distributors actually reached a $26 billion nationwide opioid settlement. It's the second largest cash settlement ever, correct? So where exactly is that money going to go, and what's the reaction been so far?
You know, if enough states and jurisdictions sign on to this, Diane, the money will go directly to places like Philadelphia, where we saw the heartbreak of the opioids epidemic laid so plainly bare by Devin's piece. And the idea in the minds of the state attorneys general who negotiated this is that the money is urgently needed now because of what we just saw. They don't want to wait for the uncertainty of litigation, even though when you see the pain that the opioids epidemic has caused, there is an inclination to want to punish the companies behind it. And here, the nation's three biggest drug distributors, Cardinal Health, AmerisourceBergen, and McKesson, along with Johnson & Johnson, which is also part of this settlement agreement, they played a unique role, as state attorneys general said in pushing all of these drugs out into communities while ignoring all the guardrails in the system, whether it's prescribers that are prescribing too many or pharmacies that are ordering too many. The state attorneys general said these companies at every turn ignored all that and just kept the drugs flowing.
And Aaron, does this protect these drug companies from future lawsuits, or could they end up in court again on this?
They're protected, and that may be for victims of the opioids epidemic, that this may be really unsatisfying because there is no way for them to have their day in court. And the companies, as part of this settlement agreement, do not have to formally admit any wrongdoing. But just by entering into this agreement, I think it's clear that the companies did have a role to play, even if they don't have to formally admit to it. We're waiting to see if enough states and jurisdictions sign on. If they do, the money would start to flow and would flow for the next 18 years. If not, then the companies can pull out and take their chances at trial. And there's already a jury trial underway here in New York that's really testing some of the theories that prosecutors have about the role these companies played.
So, Dr. Anand, how has the pandemic's disproportionate impact on low-income communities and people of color exacerbated the opioid epidemic and the drug overdoses that we've seen this past year?
The economic impact, the shelter in place has definitely exacerbated depression and anxiety. Also, folks with that weren't able to go to in-person meetings, that also made it harder for them to get assistance that they needed. We also had to redistribute our healthcare system. And the population that was affected the most were the folks, unfortunately, that were let go. And that were already in the lower socioeconomic bubble.
All right, Dr. Akil Anand and ABC News correspondent Aaron Katursky, we appreciate your time today. Both, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Diane.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Tokyo virus cases near 2,000 a day on the eve of Olympics. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Enjoy presentations with Canva.
Major concerns about the virus on the eve of the opening ceremony for the Olympics in Tokyo. The new number tonight, more than 90 people inside the bubble now infected with the virus. And what will be different about that opening ceremony? James Longman again tonight from Tokyo.
Tonight, with the opening ceremony a day away, our first glimpse of some of the stars of these extraordinary games. Masks on for the women's gymnastics team arriving for practice. And for a brief moment, COVID forgotten as Simone Biles defies gravity in her much-anticipated all-round routine. But with concerns about COVID, USA Gymnastics confirming to ABC News that they have moved out of the Olympic Village and into a hotel. At least 91 people are now positive inside the Olympic bubble, 10 of them athletes. Across Tokyo, the numbers rising, once again reaching a 6-month high with nearly 2,000 new cases a day. And First Lady Jill Biden has arrived in Tokyo for her first solo international trip. One of just 950 dignitaries and officials at the 68,000-seat stadium to watch the opening ceremony.
And James Longman live from Tokyo tonight. James, this opening ceremony in the midst of a pandemic, what differences will we see?
Well, David, we know of the 950 guests, only about 150 or so will be Japanese, everyone wearing masks. And we know technology will be used to try to replicate a normal experience, but this will very much be a made-for-TV event. David?
You'll be right there for us. James Longman again tonight. Thank you, James.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Massive internet outage briefly takes down major websites. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Tonight, a massive internet outage briefly taking down major websites across the country today, including several airlines. The problem affecting many businesses from Amazon to Home Depot, FedEx, and UPS also hit Southwest Airlines and Delta Airlines. Some Delta customers unable to check in online for a time today. Akamai, a key internet provider, investigating the service disruptions, but so far saying it was not a cyber attack.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Deadly shootings in Chicago spark action on guns. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
We turn next tonight to Chicago, where police had to respond to 3 mass shootings in just 6 hours. And then just hours later, Attorney General Merrick Garland arriving in Chicago today, launching a new federal strike force to tackle America's rise in gun violence. Tonight here, our Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas teaming up with our ABC stations across the country to investigate what's driving this rise in violence.
Tonight, the Attorney General landing in Chicago on a federal mission just hours after that city saw at least 3 mass shootings overnight, wounding at least 17 and killing a 14-year-old.
It's not an exaggeration to say We are in a battle for the heart and soul of some of these communities.
Merrick Garland sending teams of prosecutors and federal agents to 5 major cities that have seen a rise in violent crime, among them Chicago.
This strikes not only at the communities we serve, but at our own community of law enforcement.
Gun violence surging across the country. ABC News, along with its own stations, affiliates, and the Gun Violence Archive, attempts to document every shooting this week. So far, at least 787 shootings occurring since Saturday morning. We went to Philadelphia, where more than 1,200 have been wounded or killed by guns this year, riding with the police. By early afternoon, there had been a triple shooting, killing 2 and wounding a 16-year-old. Later that night, we hear reports of multiple shots fired.
Yeah, it's the famous cheesesteaks, Pats, and Gino's. This is where the shooting just happened.
That's a shell casing right on the ground right there. See where the white circle's drawn around it. Moments later, we get the horrible news. So he wanted to stop this. The person here died. The commissioner telling me today the victim died over an argument about a parking space. David, the police commissioners of the NYPD in Philadelphia told me in exclusive interviews this week that the spike in part has been fueled by a small number of repeat offenders, primarily gang members and drug dealers terrorizing neighborhoods. They also discussed courts being shut down because of COVID-19, leaving offenders normally incarcerated on the streets. And they spoke of the proliferation of weapons, mainly meaning anyone who is angry, unstable, or just plain criminal has a gun. David?
Really important reporting, Pierre. Thank you. And of course, Pierre is leading this week-long ABC News investigation with our stations across the country. One Nation Under Fire across all of ABC News. Good Morning America Nightline this week with George Stephanopoulos this Sunday.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And we are going to switch gears now, and let's go into weather. And here's a check of the weather across the United States for this Friday. As you can see, it's dry along here, and some rain off in the ocean near Florida, but all dry along this part of the United States. A little bit of rain in Michigan. And a little bit of rain over here, and over here as well, but mainly dry, and a lot of precipitation on the map. So that is good news, mainly dry. We like the dry, no precipitation. And that is a look at your weather across the United States for this Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. And let's switch gears now. And we are going to go into a cooking segment. Make Michael Simon's sausage and peppers with broccoli rabe. Let's take a look at that right now.
It's been here since December.
You left him that mug of Dunkin' with his cookies that night.
Smells really good in here, and that's because we're grilling up a summertime classic with one of our very favorite chefs, the co-host of Food Network's Barbecue Brawl. And this morning he is here to join us from his own backyard. Right there he is, Michael Simon. Always good to have you with us here, friend.
Good to see you guys. How are you doing? Everyone good?
We're doing well, yeah. We're loving your summertime backdrop there. So you're going to do a traditional summertime dish for us, sausage and peppers, but you're kind of throwing us a curveball here. You're not going to put the sausage directly on the grill.
Well, we're doing a little sausage and peppers. We start the sausage on the grill, but then we move it to indirect heat. So it starts on direct heat on the grill, and once it starts grilling, I move it over to the indirect heat. You could shut the lid down, and then as the peppers get the sausage gets to cook, you can add it to the peppers. It makes it super easy. But the first thing that you really need for sausage and peppers, guys, is the peppers. So I have a pan over high heat right here, and to that, I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to add my chopped garlic, sliced garlic, and you can hear the sizzle, pinch of salt, You guys want it spicy? Spicy?
Yeah, yeah, they can have it spicy, you know. But yeah, spicy.
Oh, straight, come on, suck it up.
I'm not that spicy.
Put our peppers. A little bit more salt, chili flakes, some white wine. And then this goes back right on the grill, and we just start to let it cook. If you want it thicker, guys, you could put in some tomato paste, and that really kind of makes it a little bit more, like, full and thick.
And we know that
here I have some sliced garlic.
But Michael,
so the sliced garlic, I have broccoli rabe.
But you're using your grill, Michael. Michael, you're using your grill like an oven. So what kind of tips do you have for people who want to do that?
So straight, really, the key is as soon as you close the door on your grill, it turns into the oven. I'm using my smoker today, but the exact same thing. The coals are underneath. I have the coals really hot on one side. I have kind of nothing over here. When I want to turn my grill into an oven, all I do is I shut the lid, and then you watch the temperature gauge. Like this says 450, so we have a 450-degree oven. If I want it to be cooler, I put in less coals. If you have a gas grill, you turn the gas down, and you can get it to cook at any temperature you want. So even if I wanted to bake a cake, I could bake a cake in here. No
How
problem.
about the broccoli rabe, Michael?
So the broccoli rabe, George, we have the sliced garlic. I have the broccoli rabe, which I blanched first. You can put in chili flakes if you like. I like to finish them with a little splash of red wine vinegar just for a little bit of acidity. And they cook, after they're blanched and shocked, you can cook them in about a minute or two. So I have some finished sausages here. And what I do is when the peppers get done, I add the sausage to the peppers. And then I take a little bit of fresh basil, and we just tear it up in there. And so now you have the basil, the peppers. You can make it as spicy or non-spicy as you want. You take your broccoli rabe, and the broccoli rabe could go on the sandwich or on the side. Remember, it's nice and garlicky, though. I take an Italian roll.
Michael, while you're finishing up there,
sausage.
I got to ask you about a minor celebrity in your life. Your dog Norman. He's we've seen him on Instagram working out with you. So he likes to work out with you, but he's not out there cooking with you. What's up? What a cutie!
You know, he's still a pup, and he was a little frisky today. So he got his bully stick and he's hanging out on his bed inside. He lives the life. You know, it's like when. He has a good life. You know, when I'm doing barbecue brawl and we're doing Simon's dinners in the backyard, Norman's usually out hanging with me. Today he's in, and Stray knows this because he, you know, with his dog, he's in timeout.
Yes.
Get him to stay on the treadmill.
He does. I got to keep. He loves running on the treadmill, man. He, unlike me, he's very fit.
What a cutie! Look at him.
Yes, he is. And I got to say, you know what? I'll be over next weekend for one of these things. So I want to come to one of these Simon barbecues in the backyard or whatever you're going to do. I'm looking forward to it.
Stray, you are always invited, and you know it's. As you know, I like to cook you dinner because after I take all your money golfing, I feel feeding you is the right thing to do.
Oh, the rivalry just kicked up.
Looks delicious. We're going to dive in here, Michael. Thank you so much. And everybody, you can see more of Michael on season 2 of Barbecue Brawl Mondays on Food Network. And you can get this recipe right here on our website, goodmorningamerica.com.
Well, hey there, GMA fans.
Okay, there you go. Looks yummy and delicious. Cool, cool, cool. And we are going to switch gears now and let's go into entertainment news. And in entertainment news, Kelly Ripa's son reacts to her cheeky Instagram post. Let's take a look at that video right now from Entertainment Tonight.
Get ready to set them up with everything they need. Everything. Got this.
Anything else that you want to say? Is there any grievances, any axes you want to grind? Anybody here you want to seek revenge upon?
Everyone here is great. You and I have to talk later. I'm kidding.
Kelly Ripa's son, Michael Consuelos, has something to say about his mom's cheeky Instagram pic.
I can't stand social media. I really can't. It's such a minefield.
On Monday, Kelly posted this sexy swimsuit selfie with her hubby Mark Consuelos, checking out her backside with his mouth wide open in awe. And on Thursday, their 24-year-old son stopped by live with Kelly and Ryan and called out his mom.
How do you feel about the pictures of mommy and daddy when she posts them?
Oh, man. Look, it's the one recently where it was the...
What do you mean?
You know what I mean.
Yeah, we all know what he means.
Oh my gosh, I don't even want to think about it. In our family, everything is left unsaid.
And later, after Kelly got a little embarrassed by Ryan and Michael suggestively joking about quarantining alone during the pandemic, he called back to those sexy Insta posts.
Oh, you have no room to make that face after what you post on your Instagram.
Michael, I'm curious.
That's the rollout for the fans only account.
I'm curious to know.
And while Michael made an appearance on his mom's show, he's also appeared on his dad's CW series, Riverdale.
It's a normal thing. People do this.
Michael plays a younger version of Mark's character, Hiram.
I mean, it's a bucket list for us as parents to have our son, him play me, a younger version of the character that I play. I think it's really great. Some of the crew here didn't know it was him, and they're like, oh my God, they really did well casting. It's like, wow, they did a great job. He looks just like him.
Not only does Michael look just like his famous dad, he sounds like him too.
Everyone keeps telling me that, and I think that the difference is that, my dad is my voice, but with confidence. So, when talking, I'm like, I gotta sound like I know what I'm doing.
Yep, so Mark and Kelly's oldest son is following in their showbiz footsteps. Something that came as a surprise to the daytime talk show host.
You were so, anti being on camera. There were years here where I couldn't even mention your name.
Right.
What is it now that has changed your mind?
I've been so opposed to it for a long time, and I was just like, why? It's fun. I enjoy it.
You were always acting as a kid.
That's what I realized. This isn't directing and the writing and all that. It's fun, but I think I was better suited for the other stuff, so that's why I tried it, and I ended up really enjoying it.
And Kelly says she's seen a big change in him since he started acting.
And I have to thank you, because it was working on your show that convinced me to become an actor. This isn't for me.
Ever since you become an actor, I've watched you blossom as a personality. He's just confident.
I don't know, I feel good. I think it's the suit.
You know what it is? I will say this, I remember starting out as an actor, being riddled with confidence, and it's something that, really only 30, 40 years in the business beats out of you. So hold on to it now while you have it.
E.T. was with Michael and his dad on the set of Riverdale in 2018, and he opened up about how he landed the role.
Michael, I've got to say, congratulations. Your first ever acting gig. Did you have to audition?
I did, actually. A friend of mine had texted me a while back asking me if I was going to make a cameo or something, because in season 2, I made a cameo as a picture of my dad in the wrestler episode. Yeah, he was me as a younger Hiram in the trophy case. It's his photo. They called him and asked him if he'd audition. My first ever audition.
Mark, what kind of advice did you give
Nothing.
Michael?
I told him just to memorize his lines. He already had them memorized.
And I know that your daughter's a big Riverdale fan.
She loves it.
So, are you getting cool brother points right now?
You know what? She texted me, which never happens. Like, hey, good job. I'm like, oh, wow. I guess I'm cool. I guess I'm cool now.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this morning edition of The Morning Show with Riley King. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day, everyone. Goodbye.